and now I'm just on the process of doing applications. I signed up for your that software, and I'm
Hmm.
just been applying. Um, I don't know, is this call recording or the recording you keep
Yeah,
it
it's
just
recording.
so to make sure? Okay, okay. So yeah, just to make sure if I need to take some notes. But basically, I just want to make sure, like in terms of the approach, um, like what's your best recommendations in order to like stand out in the intro video? Do you like do reviews of that?
Yeah.
Also like do you do?
Yeah, if you've got like a link to your intro video, I'm happy to take a look at it and give you my feedback.
Okay, cool. Where do I send it through?
You can just drop a link in the chat if you've got a link to it.
Oh, okay, okay, perfect. So let me send that now.
Cool. Were you just looking at how to stand out in the intro video? That was the main question.
Yeah, because I'm just trying to land interviews. So far I've only had one. Um, and yeah, I've got like a lot of views on my intro, but I've so far just landed one interview. So maybe that's also it's like in terms of actually doing the applications, what are your recommendations so that you can, have a higher chance of landing the interview?
Cool. Let's look at the intro video first, and then we'll talk about applications. I'm gonna share screen real quick,
Okay.
and you guys can all see that. Good to go.
Probably
Let
thinking,
me
who the hey,
let me put it on normal speed real quick. You guys can see the screen though.
hey there. So you're probably thinking, who the hell is this girl and what is she doing on my screen right now? So I'll keep this under 2 minutes because I don't want to waste your time and I know you're probably really busy. You're probably getting a ton of leads and you're getting a ton of calls that you can, which is exactly why you're looking for a closer right now. And for you, you just need someone that you can trust those calls with. And well, basically make you more money while you handle other parts of your business. And I'm guessing you're looking for a high performer, someone that goes out there and crushes it, but also that has a lot of hunger and is chasing those leads day in and out to make sure that they close and so that your business grows. Someone that is punctual, is on time, respects you, your time, your team's time, and is actually there to not only grow your business, but also someone proactive, hungry to learn, quickly to apply your feedback, and obviously goes over the top to not only do role plays by themselves or with other people, does the homework, researches on the leads, reviews their calls after the sales calls, and goes beyond what's required to actually improve, become better at sales, and basically closes prospects, but not only just closes prospects, actually shows that they care about the prospects they're speaking to make sure that at the end of the day, the clients that you do get are people that actually feel like they're being taken care of. And that's exactly why I'm the right person for the job. Listen, I get this, and I'm not just saying this just because I am. I get what it's like to be a business owner and an agency owner, which is exactly why I'm the right person for this job. I have the hunger. I want more than anyone to succeed and become the best at what I do. And with that being said, be able to be there and help you achieve your goals in the business. I have run my own agency, took 8 months of sales coaching. I have experience selling to cold prospects from ads that don't know me from anywhere, super skeptical prospects from the home improvement industry. I have done the work and I have the experience. But I'm just speaking a lot of words, but you probably still won't believe me. So instead of me trying to convince you on why I'm good for this role, let me actually show it to you in person. So what I suggest is let's schedule a call where I can actually show you my sales abilities, my objection handling abilities, and what I actually know in person so that you know that I'm the right fit for this role. So don't hesitate. Let's have a chat and actually have a call together where I'll show you everything.
Cool. So the first thing I'll say is the energy is good. The communication skills is good. The main thing that is probably causing you to get less interviews than you could with this one is it takes 2 minutes before you start talking about your experience or what you've done or your track record or your history. No recruiter, no business owner makes it this far into a video. Most of them make their decision within the first 10 seconds of watching the video, and then they move on to the next intro video. and you spend about like a minute 40 to 2 minutes just saying like you're probably looking for this, you're probably looking for someone that's like this, when all they want to do is hear how you're selling yourself in terms of, you know, your history, the industries you have experience in, your track record, if you have any facts, numbers, statistics from when you were running your own agency, all of that, I would put it right at the forefront within the first 10 to 20 seconds because that's what they're looking to hear. And then there's a bunch of cuts throughout the whole video, right? They're going to be thinking when they watch this, if this person can't pitch themselves for about a minute without having to chop it up and cut it up, how are they going to pitch my product or service where they're not able to do that? So I would want to re-record it until you can talk for like a minute and 20 seconds max straight without having to chop it up and do all of the editing. That's going to be the main things that are holding you back with the video. And if you kind of kick it off introducing yourself, introducing your experience as an agency owner, what you did to generate revenue or close deals or set your own appointments and, you know, build your company, that's going to take you much, much, much further than this one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Okay, so also I need to, I guess, memorize it and
Yeah.
then just do it without, does that really impact like just having
It's
the
like
chops and
the
stuff?
whole thing. It's the whole thing because at the end of the day, this is you selling you. And if you
Yeah.
can't sell yourself for, again, if you can't speak on the thing you know a lot about, which is your own sales service, which is what you're trying to sell to the business owner, without having to chop it up, why would they expect you to be able to pitch their service? You know what I mean? Because essentially what they're doing is they're saying, okay, we're going to take how Vanessa's presenting herself here, the look, her setup, audio quality, video quality, cadence, tonality, everything, and I'm going to treat her as and this look and the sound as how she would pitch a product or service. And again, if you struggle to do that without the cuts, then how could they expect you to do that with their service? That's what they're going to be thinking when they're looking at this video. That's the whole point of the intro video, is to just see how you sell, see your communication skills as a whole, which it's good, but there's just too many cuts. So I would just try to make it without cuts, try to make it clean. Some people have to record it like 50 times to get that one that's good, and that's totally okay because all they're going to see is that one. So that's what I would do.
Okay, okay, perfect. Yeah, I can do that definitely. Also in terms of like the applications, because I saw that your approach is, you have the application, but you would also check them up on LinkedIn, etc. What do you usually say when you message them on LinkedIn?
Yeah, when you reach out directly, you always want to include reasons as to why you're a good fit for that offer specifically. Reasons that go above and beyond from just like track record. I would try to tie in some kind of history, interest, or passion towards what's being sold, especially for coaching or consulting offers. So, for example, if you were an agency owner, one thing you would do is if you're applying to like a marketing offer or to be a closer for an agency, that would be an easy in for you to talk about like, hey, I used to run an agency, so I understand the full process, I understand delivery, I understand what makes a good prospect from what type of prospects you might not want to work with, and that there's your edge. So the message might look like, um, hey, I saw you had a job post for XYZ role, for closer role, setter role, whatever. I went ahead and submitted my application. You want to let them know that, because if you don't say that you submitted the application, chances are if you just message them, they're going to say, hey, go submit the application, right? So I'll say, hey, let's say you were the business owner. I'd say, hey, Vanessa, saw you had a job post for a closer role for your agency. I went ahead and submitted my application on the, on the job post, whatever. I think I'd be a great fit because I used to be an agency owner, and when I was an agency owner, I would set my own deals, close my own deals. I would do all of the delivery myself. Whatever other reasons you have, I would keep it to like 3 bullet points of like really good reasons, and then I would say, if you want to know a little bit more about me, see my mock calls, intro video, all that stuff. And that's where I would share either the rep select profile, or if you just have your portfolio on like a Google Doc or wherever you keep it, then I would share that along with it. And then just be like, looking forward to next steps, or please let me know what the next steps would be. And I'd probably follow up with them after a day or two if I didn't hear anything back.
Oh, okay, and the goal is just, especially in those offers that you really want to land, is just not only doing that, but also like following up with them.
Yeah, if it's an offer you really want to work with, I would follow up. I would engage with their content if it's like a sales manager or if I'm talking directly to the founder or recruiter. But essentially, that reach out message will help you skip a lot of the line when it comes to just being in their ATS and their applicant tracking system, because there's probably tens if not hundreds of people in there, and the chances of them checking that versus checking their DMs, most people check their DMs a lot more often. And the reason why a lot of people don't get responses in the DMs is because their message usually looks like, hey, saw you're hiring, I'm a closer, hire me. Or, hey, do you need a closer? Hey, do you need a setter? They get so many DMs like that, but what it doesn't do is give them reasons why they should pick you over anyone else. And when you give people no reason to pick you, they just won't, or they'll not want to take the time to like look into you and all these things. So if you give them those bullet points, those reasonings, then it comes down to, are those reasons good or are they not? If you give good reasons, then they'll be like, oh, actually you were an agency owner before, these are good reasons. Okay, cool, let's chat,
Okay, okay, that makes sense. Any other tips that you would, I guess, advise on?
I mean, those that would be the main things when it comes to reaching out to business owners. One of the fastest ways. I mean, the bigger the company, the more things you have, like company phone numbers and stuff like that. So I would, even if I was trying to land a role as soon as possible, I would even cold call the business and be like, hey, who's responsible for managing the sales team? And you can get interviews super quick like that, especially because it's a sales role and they would love to see people that have the chops to be willing to just call the company and get on the phone. So I would do that if it was a bigger company, or especially like SDR, account executive type roles. But yeah, shooting them an email, shooting them a DM on LinkedIn or a platform where they seem a little bit active would be solid. Connecting with other people at the company as well is usually a good way to kind of get to learn more information about the company. And when it
Hmm.
comes to the actual interview process, we have to understand that companies aren't just looking for sales reps with sales history and sales experience, because a lot of people have that. But what can differentiate you is also understanding their industry. I can't tell you tons of times I have business owners that tell me when they're on Rep Select, especially, they're filtering by like niche experience. They're like, I'm looking for people that not just have experience in sales, but understand advertising or understand fitness or understand personal development or understand whatever it is they're selling. So making sure we talk about that either in the interview process or reaching out to them, wherever there's communication, that would be huge.
Okay, okay, perfect. I appreciate that, Ty.
No problem. No problem. Any other questions? Anything else you want to go over?
Who, me?
Well, just anyone in the call.
So I do have a question.
What's up?
So hello, first of all. I have a good background over the phone, since I'm spending like 6 hours to 7 hours a day interpreting live calls, going through medical, banking, insurance, and a lot of other stuff. But I got no sales track record yet, and I'm fresh into setting and closer career path. So what do you have an advice to land a first setter role?
What did you say it was you were doing? Like, what's your job specifically?
I'm actually an interpreter. I'll interpret live calls directly over medical, banking, insurance, and a lot of other fields.
Hmm.
It might go from technical to specific to legal to medical to insurance, banking. I got also to interpret certain sales calls when it happens when it happens, you get that call to interpret. So you get that also.
Cool. Cool. The easiest way for anyone to get into remote sales is kind of like what I was telling Vanessa, is go with the industries that you have a background in, even if it's not sales, right? Like for her, coming from being an agency owner, it'll be a lot easier to get a setter or closer role for a marketing agency because she was an agency owner. If you used to be an accountant, there's tons of finance coaching programs that make it way easier to land a role there. If you used to be in real estate, there's tons of real estate consulting programs or marketing agencies that market
Nice, it's
for
married.
realtors specifically, that will help a lot, right? So I would specifically look for offers that are, I guess, adjacent to the things that you have experience with, no matter what the job that you had in the past was, right? That would be the first thing. And then understand that the business owners mainly what they're looking for. Yes, track record is super super helpful, especially when it comes to recruiters. A lot of them want to see a certain amount of cash collected, but with a lot of business owners, main thing they want to see is two things: general communication skills and a similar sales ideology, right? And what I mean by sales ideology is businesses, well, I mean, everyone essentially, recruiters, business owners, sales trainers, whatever, they all have their own ideas for what they believe works on sales calls. You've probably seen it where some trainers swear by the discovery, and a good discovery, you don't need anything else. You'll see their sales trainers that say, hey, you just got to get really good at objection handling and nothing else matters, you could just crush all objections and blah 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 blah, right? So what business owners are looking for is, does this person handle objections the way I would or I think is good? Does this person do discovery the way I think is good? They're looking for someone that has an alignment there. Like if you sent them a role play and you were objection handling and the objection handling was similar to what they believe to be the best way to handle objections, then you'll get the job regardless of track record usually. And that's where having a portfolio of different role plays and call examples helps, where you would do role plays and then cut out, I usually say to make it easier for the business owner, cut out different parts of the call, showcasing like, this is how I handle objections, this is how I pitch, this is how I do discovery, so that you have a little bit of a like call portfolio, just like how an artist, a digital graphic design person would have like a portfolio of their work. You would kind of create that for sales, because you need to be able to prove in some way that you can sell, and at least prove how you sell. But since you don't have history of sales to prove that, that's where that would come in. And what business owners are going to look for essentially is good communication skills. Cool. Does he have a proper, setup to actually do these calls? Good Wi-Fi, good lighting, good camera quality, good microphone quality, all that stuff. Okay, cool. That's like the base that they're looking for. And then it's like, okay, does his sales ideology align with what I'm looking for in a rep? One of the biggest struggles we have, let's say that business owner says the biggest struggle is like partner objections. How do they handle partner objections? If their biggest struggle is pricing objections, how do they handle that? And they want to see that pretty much, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does make sense. Yeah. So I was just asking if also it would be a good point to start to go through repselect.io. Is there like beginning friendly uh, type of opportunities, stuff like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, we post both. We post all types of offers, from big companies to smaller companies that are more willing to bring on, reps with less experience as well. So yeah, it's absolutely a good place to get started, especially with the setter training, closer training that we have in the training portal there. Happy to review your mock calls, role plays if you bring them to these calls as well. And then when you're feeling confident and good, I would definitely start applying with some of the recruiters just to see, because some of them care about track record, but not all of them. So it'd be good to apply to with some of the recruiters just to get in their pipelines as well.
All right, thank you.
Cool. Um, I know Vanessa, you have your hand up, and then Angel, you have your hand up as well. What's up, Angel?
Yeah, I was just wondering for the role plays and like recording those calls, is that under the Rep Select, I guess portfolio where you would do that, or is that something separate you do on your own to like have your portfolio kind of ready to like show to like different recruiters?
Like, are you saying like, is there like recording capabilities on websites? Is that what you're asking?
I guess I'm kind of new to like sales, so I was just wondering what platform do you
And how
use to
would you
like,
get it done?
yeah, and you
Um,
get and go
yeah.
into like,
So
especially if you have
so
no,
yeah. So you would just jump on like the Google Meet, Zoom. You jump on a call with someone, and Fathom is like, it's what I use. There's lots of like meeting recorders. I like Fathom because the free plan gives you everything you need pretty much. Where it will record those role plays for you, and it's kind of cool because it kind of gives you a transcript that you can click through and check out different parts of it. And if you want, you can download it and edit it and all that. But you can then take those recordings, and I would upload those recordings to, there's a portfolio section in Rep Select. That way it's kind of like your all-in-one kind of sales resume kind of thing, that you can upload your employment history, your call recordings, screenshots of different tracking sheets if you do have sales experience. But yeah, essentially most people, they put together their portfolio by getting on Zoom with someone in this community, other communities, wherever, even a friend, family member, getting on Zoom, getting on Google Meet, and then recording it through a recording software like Fathom, or there's so many like note takers out there that you can utilize, and then uploading that to either like a Google Drive for your portfolio on a Google Doc, or you can. That's why we put a section for it on RepSelect. You can upload it there as well.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Vanessa, you have another question? What's up? I'm not sure if the hand up came up by an accident. Cool. I guess not. Does anyone else have any other questions? Anything else we want to cover?
I just have a quick question concerning like the opportunities present on RepSelect. Do you guys cover, do some of the opportunities cover like bilingual sectors?
Not as much. Every now and then we do have people requesting for reps that speak different languages, but it's pretty rare. I wouldn't like if that was what you were looking for primarily, I wouldn't say RepSelect is like a great platform for that. But every now and then something slips through. But yeah, you don't hear much outside of English on there. It's like maybe one job a month is like that, from what I've seen, one or two.
All right, thank you.
Cool. We had some more questions. What's up? What else we got? Nifasimi, if I pronounced that right.
Yes, you did. Hi. So I'd like to know, do you guys hire outside the US?
Yep. Yep. I mean, well, it's not do we hire, it just depends on the company. Some companies do, some companies don't. Most companies, they just kind of care about the stuff I've been talking about. If you can prove you can sell and you have the proper setup, the equipment, everything like that, if they think you're a talented rep, then it usually doesn't matter for most jobs when it comes to closing and setting. The only jobs where I would say they care a little bit more is when you get to more of the bigger company corporate type roles, like the SDR account executive stuff. That's where it's a little bit more corporate, where they kind of base, because those jobs are like salaried and stuff like that, so they care more about that. They play like bonuses and all that. But when it comes to like commission only, setter role, closer role, coaching, consulting company or advertising company, most of them, it just comes down to everything that we've been talking about. If you prove better to be better than the competition that's applying as well, then they'll hire you.
Okay.
Cool. Amy, you had your hand up? Not sure if you're still there. Angel, you have
Hello,
another
I'm here. Yes, I'm fine. I can't just put this thing on because of some reason. And what I want to ask is, in this $17 point something subscription, I can see that auto apply is not there.
Yeah.
Or is it me? Which one have that auto apply?
That's in the AI one that has all of the AI tools, AI features, AI credits. That's in the second subscription there.
Okay. Okay, no problem. I am about to set up my, what is it called, portfolio, so that you can help me check. But I think by next week, Monday, I will do that.
Cool. Yeah, set it
Okay.
up. Get some call recordings
Okay.
in there. And yeah, happy to review call recordings, anything.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
No problem. Angel, you had another question?
Yeah, what would you say would be like the essential equipment you should have? Just 'cause I know that it's not necessarily like you're going for like a corporations that they're giving you the products and materials. So what would you say is like the basic stuff you should have to start?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you don't need anything fancy or expensive, just decent, 1080p to 4K camera, clear audio. Some of the cheaper $50 to $80 mics is usually more than enough. Good lighting to where it's not dark and shadowy. Obviously, what lighting you need for it depends on like some people's lights. For example, I don't have any of my other lights on. This is just the light overhead, and that's enough So some people's overhead natural light is more than enough. Some people, depending on their lighting, might need specific lighting. Most laptop cameras aren't the best, so getting a proper webcam is usually better. But again, if your laptop has a pretty good camera, maybe that's just enough as well. And then I don't think I've ever seen like a laptop mic that's good enough just built in. Most laptop mics are really, really bad. So yeah, getting a cheap, even like the $20-$30 like lavaliers are pretty good. And just having it like pinned to your chest and plugged into your laptop is more than enough. So like you could get away with a pretty cheap like $100 setup. Biggest thing is making sure that you have like just like a blank wall behind you. It's not like your bedroom, it's not your kitchen, anything like that. Even if you are in the kitchen, just like pull the desk out and turn it around so your camera's facing the wall. It doesn't have to be like a crazy office setup or anything like that. Just anything that looks as professional as possible. Especially for B2B offers, you're going to be speaking to other business owners and stuff like that. So they want to see that you have at least some kind of dedicated space. But yeah, as long as the camera's not grainy, lighting is good, audio is good, you should be fine there.
Okay. And then also,
yeah.
oh, sorry, I was saying
No,
for
go ahead.
headphones, would an Apple your headphones kind of work or earphones kind of work for that, or would you need like a headset of some
In
sort?
terms of microphone quality,
Well, I guess maybe, but never mind. I think I understand what you would need. Never mind.
because like yeah, for like Apple headphones are some of them are pretty good. Like AirPods are like, in terms of hearing, as long as you can hear, you're good. As long as there's not like, you can get away with no headphones as long as it's not like echoing and feedbacking through the mic. But when it
Okay.
comes to audio, I'm pretty sure some AirPods are good enough. Again, as long as it's coming out clear and not choppy, yeah, you'll be fine.
Okay. Thank you.
Definitely don't need to get like one of these. Deep, what's up, man?
Hey, Tal, how are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I'm new on this platform right now, and I just wanted to know how I can move forward with this remote closing job. I also have a banking experience. I work in CIBC and Royal Bank of Canada
Mm-hmm.
in outbound and inbound department, and also I have sales department in the auto industry. And also I work like several jobs. So I just need to know how I should start, like how I should build my resume so that the potential employer, can hire me for this remote or settled job. So yeah, I just need some advice from you so that I can move to the right direction.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
filling out the full profile, and then the number one thing is the intro video. How good that is going to determine how many interviews you get. So everything we kind of talked about, you want to make sure that you're following along with that. There's also a video in the training hub on the app. If you click training hub, there's going to be a video that says, it's like a 20-minute video that says like how to create an intro video. Should be there. Go ahead and watch that. It'll kind of walk you through all the things you need to do to make that good. When it comes to employment history, making sure that everything that you put there when you're talking about it, kind of like, most resumes, they've got the company, job title, and then what you did there. Make sure that description part is very achievement based. Going into a sales role, it's about producing. So if you can talk about in your sales roles any facts, metrics, numbers, that business owners love to hear about that. Close rate, show rates, outbound dials, whatever, any metrics that you have, revenue generated, revenue managed. I know the terms can be different depending on the type of sales role, but any metrics, numbers that you have will be huge. Any achievements. So if you were number one on the team, top 5 out of 20, like won any awards, recognition, definitely mention that. Any leadership in other roles, mention that. Again, any achievements, awards, recognition for any of the other jobs that you did, all that stuff will be huge. That's where I would start. And then once you've kind of filled out everything's looking good, intro video's looking good, obviously getting the portfolio with some sales calls, kind of like what we talked about before, getting some role plays and stuff like that in there will definitely be a plus, add a little bit of a lift. It's not a must, you don't need it, but it'll definitely help a ton. With the less experience you have, the more important it is. And then reaching out to recruiters is going to be a really good thing to kind of do first for most people, just to get on their radar, applying to all the recruiting pipelines, reaching out to all of the recruiters, and then after you've kind of, most of them interview almost everyone, so you'll definitely get some interviews by reaching out to, I think in Replica we've got like 30 recruiters listed, so reaching out to them, you'll probably get a couple interviews there, and then from there you can start applying to a bunch of roles and kind of go from there.
Okay. So currently I am doing full-time job that with the banking industry. Now, how I can let's say if I get hired, how I can manage, this sales closing job?
Yeah.
Do they hire part-time? Like, is there any specific number of hours?
Yeah, part-time roles are usually just negotiated. It depends on the company, and you can negotiate it based on what the company is looking for and what you're looking for, and how you can help. So for example, there's been, like, when I was a sales manager, we've hired some people part-time to take evening calls only because we just didn't have any reps that were available in the evening, and we had some prospects that wanted to book calls in the evening because it was a B2C type offer, so most people were off work 5-6 o'clock. And most of our reps were off work 5-6 o'clock as well. So we hired a couple people to take those like 7-8 p.m. calls, and that guy was working part-time because he's only taking like 2 calls a day. So there are some bigger teams that might have something like that you could slide into, but again, that's something that gets negotiated. Or you can just work with a smaller company. Most part-time offers in this industry aren't advertised as part-time. They're usually, or maybe they are advertised as part-time sometimes, but they're usually part-time by nature of the company having less lead volume or just being a smaller company, not usually by choice, right? Like if a company has enough volume, they would much rather just put a full-time rep in there because that it just makes sense to have a full-time rep in there. But if the company is only able to book 2 calls a day, 3 calls a day, then that's just what they'll do. They'll have to hire someone part-time by nature of the fact that they're not booking that many calls. So working with a smaller company, smaller OTEs listed is usually your best bet to kind of do it part-time. There's also, companies, depending on their lead flow, like there's cold calling roles that they don't really care too much about when you're calling. And that's a good way for some people that are working full-time to see if they even enjoy doing this type of sales remotely. Taking on some roles where, again, you can just dial at any time and book calls based off of the leads that they're scraping from whatever software they're using. That's what I would kind of go for, is looking for smaller companies like that to try to negotiate a afternoon, evening. It really just depends on when you're available and how much time you're available for.
Thank you so much. Thank you for answering my question, because I've been watching your videos from last couple of weeks on YouTube, but now finally I got a chance to talk to you on Zoom. So I'm happy right now.
No problem. Hopefully it was helpful. I don't know if you put your hand up for a second there, Angel, but Zianda, you had a question? What's up?
Hi. Okay, so I'm based in South Africa, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was just wondering, and I've been watching your videos and having a look at what you do, and I do not have any I'm not from a sales background,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to transition into sales. So I was just wondering, with your you have your what's it called, your coaching and training that you offer, the
Oh yeah, you're talking
$67
about
a month
Yeah.
a month training that you do. With that, are you able to, is I'm just thinking in terms of times and that, based on time differences between us and you guys over there, are you is most of it happening during, daytime, or is one able to pick a time, for example, for the group training sessions, or are they at specific
Yeah, it's
times? I'm just
usually
wondering if it'll be suitable for me based on where I
it's
am in the
usually
world.
based on it's usually based on the times that we set. Usually we have everyone vote. I wouldn't actually focus too much on that training. We're kind of fizzling out the 67 training and kind of packaging it into the Rep Select subscription. So a lot of the monthly, like a lot of the training in the course and all that stuff, you can find it in the RepSelect app now or the website. So I wouldn't necessarily be looking at that. And right now we have this Monday call for most of the training. We've paused the other trainings throughout the week for the next little bit just to kind of reset some of the subscriptions and what we're going to be doing on that side of things. So
Mm-hmm.
if there's any training that you're looking for in terms of sales training, call reviews, I guess like career advice on what the best next steps for you to have, you're welcome to jump on these calls for the time being. And
Okay.
we can kind of guide you on that if this time is available for you.
Oh, I see. I see. I get you. So, so there is no sort of one-on-one kind of you don't have that kind of setup with
We did have a higher ticket one-on-one available, but we haven't been doing that for the last little bit, not right now.
right. Okay, got you. And then I know somebody asked about the kind of jobs that you post
Mm-hmm.
on your site, and about them being available. Would you say that you get quite a sort of, I don't know, maybe half and half in terms of ratio of businesses that are looking for US based customer, I mean US based closers or closers and setters, or are you, or is it mixed?
Well, most businesses are looking for US based just because most businesses in remote sales is from the US and
Mm.
Canada and UK. So most of them
Yeah,
are like most
mostly
businesses look for
UK.
people from their own country, but that doesn't mean they don't accept people from other countries. But most people look for reps from their own.
Okay, got
But
you.
when they're like that's the thing about most of the job posts as well, just on any platform is when it comes to experience, when it comes to location, all of these things, they're always going to try to describe the most ideal possible, but you can absolutely still land it if you can showcase that you're just as good, if not better, than the other people that are applying.
Got you. Okay, thank
Cool.
you.
No problem. Angel, you got a question?
Yeah. So what would you say are some things you should look for if the company is like, or to determine if the company is like a smaller company, and like I guess the process that they kind of use. I mean, every company is different, but like with smaller companies, they do tend to kind of hire quicker. I guess you don't have to go through as many hoops, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
how would you kind of determine that when you're looking through rep select?
It's hard to determine fully like on the first look. I would more so look at, if it's a niche that you would want to sell in, the type of offer you'd want to sell for. Obviously there's things like OTE, which would let you know usually smaller companies just have smaller OTEs. There's some of the companies list their last month's revenue, so you can actually see how much revenue the company did in the last month. So sometimes there's that indicator as well, but it's very hard to know exactly how big a company is from the outside looking in. We also have the AI insights that give some history on the company and some information that we found when doing like an online search and looking at their domains and all the links and reviews and Reddit and all that stuff. But typically when you have a conversation with them, go ahead and apply, and then when you have a conversation with them, you can kind of determine some of these things. But I would just say for people that are like looking for part-time and stuff like that, don't shy away from smaller OTE companies when they list lower OTEs and stuff like that. Usually it's because they don't have the volume for an OTE that would look more full-time. So those would be the ones I would not shy away from applying to as well.
Okay. And then also, what would be like the range for like a smaller OT, just to give like reference compared to like a larger OT for a
Yeah, I
company?
mean, yeah, like if you're for like a closing role, like three to five K is usually considered a pretty small OTE. Average closer usually does about 8 to 13K, 8 to 12K is more of like average, and then the high end like 15, 20, 20, 30 plus for some of the bigger companies out there. So if it's like a closer role with like a 3 to 6 KOT, that would be more on the smaller side. That's mostly like that's a pretty part-time role if the offer price point is like 3 to 5K plus.
Okay. And then also, like, if you have like very little experience, but let's say for me, I have like a background in like boot camps and stuff. Um, would the chances of you getting a closer role be kind of slim to none, or is there still a way to kind of present yourself in a way where a company could give you a chance for closing, or should you just kind of aim for the appointment setter and like SDR roles first?
Yeah, it's definitely easier to get a setting role first, but you can definitely land a closing role first. Again, it comes down to is your intro video good? That'll get you the interview. But after that, if you showcase through a mock call with them, through call recordings, through your interview skills, you can get hired as a closer right away. Like when my first like sales role in this industry was closing, like I never had to become a setter first. I know lots of people that didn't have to become a setter first. It all comes down to how well you can present.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Any other questions we have? Nope, that's it. All out. Going once, going twice. Cool. Well, if we don't have any other questions, we can end it here for today. Hopefully this was helpful for all of you that jumped on. If you have any other questions, there's the community where you can post stuff in. Deep, did you have one more before we jumped off?
Yeah, so I have to work on my Loom video, and also I'm going to work on the introduction also. So I'm wondering how I can send it to you, because I want to make sure that you review, and once it says all good, then I can, apply for the jobs internally. So
Yeah,
what would
bring
you
it to these
recommend?
calls. Bring it to these calls, or you could post in the community. And when I get a chance, can't say I'll see it right away, but when I get a chance, I'll be happy to take a look at it. If you post it in the school community, or if you bring it to one of these calls.
Okay. And do you do this e-meeting twice a week or once a week?
This is every Monday, same time.
Every Monday. Okay. Okay. So when you say community, what I'm not sure about the community. You said I can just post on the community. What was that?
So there's a school community. We also have a community section that we're building on RepSelect, but right now we have this school community. If you're not in it, I just dropped it in the chat.
Okay. Thank you so much.
I do have a question actually before we're getting hop off. So is RepSelect, I'm pretty much new here, so is like RepSelect similar to Premium Hire? Is it like the same concept?
Not familiar with Premium Hire. Not sure what that is.
So like a hiring agency towards multiple companies and clients, basically.
No. So RepSelect is a software platform. So I mean, there's a bunch of features that you can read up on the website, but essentially it's a software platform with a bunch of different AI tools, resume building, intro video scripting, outreach scripting. We post new job posts every day, vetted by our team, with AI insights as well that showcase like reviews and scores and all this stuff to kind of just do deeper research on the company rather than just what's in the job description. Resume kind of builder where you can share your profile as a resume, where you can have your intro video listed there, your portfolio listed there, sales training and interview training in like a training hub where it's got like closer stuff, appointment setting, interview stuff, intro video building, all that stuff. It's just kind of building like an all-in-one platform for reps to jump on there and get help to land roles. And then when it comes to the recruiting kind of agencies that you're talking about, we list those as well. So some of the top recruiters that we've worked with or we know of, we've listed them for you to also apply and reach out to those companies. But primarily it's a place where if you list your profile, business owners are posting jobs on there that you can apply to, but they're also scrolling through, looking at profiles and inviting people to jobs to go and interview with them, essentially. Okay. Think of like a Upwork or like Indeed or something, but for
it's more of like educational purpose, you could say, like more on the educational side. Yeah.
Well, partly it's mostly a job platform. Education is part of it, but I'd say primarily it's a job platform to go in there, apply to roles, and get invited to roles.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. Any final ones? Going once, going twice. Cool. Awesome. Well, hopefully, again, that this was helpful for you guys. If you have any other questions, again, post in the community. Link is in the chat that I posted there. And we do this every single week on Monday. Come with your questions ready. Come with your calls to review, whatever it is you want to go over. And I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.